Our top focus story is the split within the Aam Aadmi Party, and the split is now out in the open. 60 Aam Aadmi Party MLAs have come out in the open against Yogendra Yadav and Prashant Bhushan. These Delhi MLAs have written a letter to Arvind Kejriwal. They've said action should be taken against both Prashant Bhushan and Yogendra Yadav. This letter by Aam Aadmi Party MLAs says that they were ready to support any action. The Aam Aadmi Party is now expected to expel Prashant Bhushan and Yogendra Yadav from the National Exective of the party, which is to be held on the 28th of March. Just yesterday, Yogendra Yadav had cautioned that there would be a letter war. Just yesterday, he said he hopes this would not happen and everything would be discussed out in the open. Let me quickly bring in headlines today's Maha Siddiqui for more on this big story. Maha Siddiqui joins us from outside the parliament. Maha, take us through the details of this letter that's now been signed by 60 of 67 Aam Aadmi Party MLAs.
Well, Gaurav, this letter basically talks about how these 60 MLAs will be absolutely fine with any decision taken by Arvind Kejriwal with effect to Yogendra Yadav and Prashant Bhushan, which clearly means that these 60 people are backing Arvind Kejriwal in taking the next step against these two, what as they are being termed as dissidents of the party, that is to expel them from the National Executive. Now remember that the National Council meeting is going to take place on the 28th of March. It has to take place once a year, and therefore it's been decided that this meeting will be held on the 28th of March. The National Council is a bigger formation. It has about 350 to 400 members, and it is here that they are trying to move this resolution forward to push both Prashant Bhushan and Yogendra Yadav out of the National Executive. But let me quickly point out, Gaurav, that it's not as if the other camp has given up. They also have some tricks up their sleeves for the National Council.
Okay, Yogendra Yadav and Prashant Bhushan clearly don't intend to go out without a fight. Explain the strategy and the counter strategy, because Ashutosh, Aam Aadmi Party leader Maha, made it very clear that there is a mountain of evidence against Yogendra Yadav and against Prashant Bhushan for anti-party activity, including trying to ensure that the Aam Aadmi Party loses the Delhi elections.
Well, yes, those allegations are there. In fact, there was a point-by-point charge sheet that was created, and reasons were pointed out as to why Yogendra Yadav and Prashant Bhushan were ousted out of the Political Affairs Committee. That was the first time yesterday that the Aam Aadmi Party came out with those reasons, being that they stopped people from donating to the party, that they were planting negative stories about the party just ahead of the Delhi elections. But also there is another viewpoint. I have spoken to some of the volunteers on the ground, Gaurav, and the sense I got is that this may not be the entire truth, that there were emails, that there were SMSs. Now these could be automated SMSs also. One will have to verify that came from Yogendra Yadav and Prashant Bhushan, asking people, urging people to donate to the party and stand by the party. So clearly the whole truth perhaps is not out, and that's what Yogendra Yadav and Prashant Bhushan have been trying to point out at. They said that be ready, brace yourselves then for the entire truth to come out. Let me quickly point out what the other side is thinking. They feel that at the National Council, where there is a larger grouping of 350 to 400 people from across the country, perhaps they could also push for something like a one person, one position norm, which will ultimately mean that people who are holding two positions like that in the Delhi government and in the party may ask to relinquish one, and that will make space for some of their own people. But it remains to be seen clearly how things pan out on the 28th of March.
Keep tracking that story, Maha. I will come back to you for more very interesting developments. Both the parties are now preparing for this trench warfare. They're down in the trenches. Yogendra Yadav and Prashant Bhushan, they're not giving up without a fight.